Last time, I showed you the 4 mistakes that leave the middle wide open in doubles. Everyone knows that they're supposed to cover the middle, but sadly, hardly anyone below the 4.5 level does. Here's the 4-step system I use to train players so the middle finally belongs to them and wins come easy. Step 1 is learning how to move together with the ball right and left so that big gaps don't open up in the middle, which is incredibly common at all levels of doubles. We've set up a training environment here where as long as the ball stays inside this box, none of us really have anywhere to go because we can maintain the same distance between ourselves and the partner and cover the center of the court, which is the most important spot to cover. But as soon as the ball travels outside of this red box, all 4 players have somewhere to go because somebody had to move and get the ball, which creates a gap between those players. And if one of these 4 players don't move, something's going to open up that's easy for the other team. So what we've done here is set up a predetermined pattern where myself and Scott on the other side of the court are hitting everything cross court, and then our 2 students on the near side, closest to the camera, have to hit everything down the line. So this is a cooperative rally, and every time the ball travels to the right, to the outside of that box, all of us travel to the right. And every time the ball travels to the left outside the box, all of us are practicing traveling to the left. Now, here's the critical point. If I hit an angle in this direction outside the box and this player has to move in that direction, if his partner doesn't move the same distance at the same speed, then a gap is going to open in the middle. Watch how this works. As his partner travels in this direction, watch how he is moving in the correct direction, but only half the speed. So the 2 of them started with this much space in between them, but after moving to get the ball, now all of a sudden they have this much space in between them. So because that distance is greater, there's a gigantic liability in between them, aka the middle. This is the real middle. I'm not talking about the literal middle right in the center of the court. Doubles is dynamic and the court is huge. And as the ball travels back and forth, everyone has a responsibility to travel in that direction if they're at the net. And training the correct direction and the correct intensity of movement is step 1 in starting to dominate the center of the court and win easily and take away these big open gaps that we so often give our opponents. The second phase of training to learn how to dominate the middle in doubles is to start picking intelligent targets when you're at the net, so you don't throw you or your partner under the bus. Here's what I mean by that. I'm starting off this rally to the right, and this time there's no predetermined pattern. So this player does not have to hit down the line. He can hit wherever he wants. What's critical to understand is he's got 3 primary targets, and they all have different levels of risk and work for him and his partner. The easiest target is always right over the middle of the net, right down the center of the court. We're going to call that target number 1. The second easiest target is to hit the ball straight ahead down the line. The net's a little bit higher, the court's a little bit shorter, so we're going to call that target number 2. And the most difficult target of all is to go all the way across to the other side of the court and hit that little sliver, that little triangle of court at a sharp angle, which is target number 3. Now, not only is target number 3 the most difficult and the smallest physical target in terms of the amount of space you have to hit to, but when this person aims for target 1 or target 2, he and his partner can stay put because the ball doesn't travel outside of that imaginary box that we drew in phase 1 of this training. Target 3, on the other hand, it's so tempting because by going all the way to the other side, yes, I have to run in this direction, and at first blush, it looks like, oh, the angle's open. But guess what? It's open on purpose because me and my partner, when the ball went in this direction on the first shot, we both moved this way on purpose because we know we cannot cover all 3 targets, and we know that target 1 is the easiest, target 2 is the second easiest, and so we're leaving him target 3 on purpose because we know it's tough to hit, but we also know that if he tries to make me run, who else has to run? When the ball goes in this direction, his partner gets thrown under the bus because by moving in the correct direction initially, and then by the ball going all the way over to the other side of the court, this whole chunk of court gets left open for me to potentially hit down the line. So making intelligent targeting decisions when you're in a quick dynamic exchange back and forth in doubles is critical. Watch how this rally plays out. How every time somebody goes for target 3, there's a whole lot of scrambling around and running. And if somebody aims for target 1 or 2, everybody can just kind of hang out and relax. So big secret to doubles success is to pick intelligent targets. You can aim for target 3, but you'd better be in a comfortable position with a high ball, aka an offensive situation. If you go for target 3 with a difficult shot, making contact below the level of the net, and you try to make your opponent run, you're just making your partner run too, and you're throwing them under the bus by leaving them in limbo and not giving them a very firm footing about knowing where to stand. Here's another quick illustration to help you understand this. Now, here's the same player. This time he doesn't take the bait. He goes for target 2, and by going for target 2, him and his partner can just stay in the position they just moved to. They don't have to move anywhere. So this player, by going in this direction, just hit him and his partner into position. There's nowhere to run before the next shot. When my partner, Scott, the other coach on the other side, takes this shot to the open court to target number 3, look at what it does to me. I just got done covering the middle, and now that the ball is going all the way over here, I'm kind of left all alone in the middle of the court, and I have to shift this way away from the literal center of the court. And that dynamic shift is very volatile. It adds a lot of potential confusion. And by the way, it creates a lot of additional work that we didn't have to do, but by Scott trying for the open court, guess what? It leaves me open over here because I'm having to come from all the way in the center of the court to try to get this shot. When you're at the net, and especially when your partner is with you, but even if they're back at the baseline, when you take a shot from below the level of the net and go for a big, sharp, fancy angle, it feels like it's effective because your opponents might have to run, but you and your partner are going to have to run just as much to cover the correct spots on the court. And if you don't, guess what? You're leaving the middle wide open. Phase 3 of learning how to dominate the middle in doubles is learning how to transition from an offensive net position to a defensive net position and moving to an effective spot on the court in time. Here's what I mean by that. Right now, my students are pretending that Scott on the other side is in the middle of a point and getting ready to hit a ground stroke. And so this player's job is to be on offense, to get in the way of Scott, try to intercept the ball and put it away. This player right now, because the ball is behind him being hit by his partner back on the baseline, is in defense mode. His job is to try to intercept an attack from the other net player, and he's put himself right here to block up the easiest target right in the middle of the court. So if Scott successfully hits the ball cross court, everything flips. Now this player is going to go from an offensive net position to a defensive one, and this player is going to move from a defensive net position up to an offensive one. And guess what? In doubles, every time the ball transitions back and forth from baseline player to baseline player, if you're in a net position, you should be making this transition from defense to offense every time. If at any point you stop doing that, you're either not pressuring the baseline player, your opponent, and you're not getting in the way and intercepting as many balls as you could, or you're not protecting the most important part of the court, the middle, against the attacks from the net player. And so here's how that looks in a live rally. We're just rallying cross court, and the net players have been told no poaching right now. We're not trying to cut across and intercept the ball in the middle, although you see a little bit of movement. They're like itching to do that because they want this rally to be over badly because they're not used to having to do this much work. You know, I hear all the time from tennis players, oh, I play doubles because I don't want to run so much. Like I don't want to play singles because it's just so much work. Anybody who ever says that does not understand the amount of intensity and the amount of work that it takes to transition from offense to defense to offense to defense, back and forth, over and over, every time the ball gets hit. This transition is necessary if you want to check both boxes, defending against the attack and also attacking against the defense when the ball is on the baseline on the other side. Here's what that looks on the ad side. Now the direction of the rally is going this way, so the direction of the players, guess what, is going to mirror the direction of the ball. So when the ball comes to our side, the players are going to shift from offense to defense, and when it goes to the other side, they're going to shift from defense to offense, so on and so forth. Great job from these players, just putting in the work and starting to learn. This is what it takes to check all the boxes as a good partner and net player in doubles. Phase 4 of learning how to dominate the middle in doubles is going to get really, really fun at this point, because Scott and I are not going to just hit cross court to each other. This time, occasionally, we're going to hit down the line and we're going to test the net players. We're going to test that the offensive net player is ready to receive the ball. But honestly, more important than that, we're going to test the defensive player to see if they're ready for the offensive net player to actually attack and do their job to actually block the middle. So let's look at what a fail looks like. As Scott and I hit back and forth, Scott's gonna, I believe, hit down the line in this example. Oh no, sorry, I'm gonna hit down the line. And my net partner is not ready. Now, why is he not ready? When I hit down the line, look at my net partner. He is disengaged from the middle, moving already up to offense, and he's also turned his face to preemptively start looking at Scott to figure out, oh, can I poach? Can I get the next ball? But he's completely abandoning the most important part on the court. He's already leaving, and he's exposing an incredibly easy target. Plus, he's taking away his own time. So the solution, look at how he started. Squared up to the opposing net player, eyes on the opposing net player, position in the middle to be able to intercept this shot. And he needs to stay here up until the point that the ball actually crosses his opponent at the net and is totally clear so that he has the green light to go and attack. Here's what it looks like when it's done correctly. We took a break. We had a conversation about this. Watch the player on our side of the court. The ball again is going to go down the line, and this time he's going to be ready for it. Now, he eventually ended up losing the point, but guess what? He made his opponent hit another shot, and he was able to do that because this time when his opponent intercepted the ball, his eyes were on that player, his stance was squared up to that player, and his position was correct in the center of the court. So when the attack came, he saw it coming ahead of time. He anticipated it because he was standing and watching the right thing, and he was successfully able to intercept the ball, aka cover the middle. But nobody does this. Oh my gosh. I'm not angry at these players. I feel like a crazy person because day after day after day, I'll go out and I work with tennis players who are incredible, their tennis IQ is incredibly high and they know exactly what they're supposed to do, but they just don't do it. On paper, they know that they're supposed to cover the middle, but they all have these same habits of leaving prematurely, not watching the right thing, not standing in the right place, and the middle is just wide open all the time. These are two very experienced 4.0 level players, and I'm not angry at these players. I see 4 or 5 players doing this all the time as well. Here's a few more examples of that phase 4 training. This time, I believe Scott is going to hit the ball down the line to the net player, intercepts it. Yeah, and an opposing net player is standing there waiting for it, just watching for it, which is exactly his job. Incredible job here, transitioning from offense back to defense, and then squaring up and watching his opponent, waiting for it, and then standing there, intercepting the ball, being ready for it. Incredible reaction. Actually, it's not a reaction. It was anticipation. He was watching the right thing at the right time, ahead of time, expecting the ball to happen, expecting the ball to come to him in that middle position. Here's what it looks like on the ad side. Same principles, just different direction, obviously. This is so important, everybody. And listen, this is not going to be a popular video because I'm showing work. I'm showing effort. This is not 5 secret, tips or easy tweaks to get 20 miles per hour more on your forehand. This is hard work. I just want to say that out loud. If you're still watching right now, at the end of this video, I respect your focus. I really respect your intention to work hard and get better at the game. And also, I understand that it's not easy to get 4 players on the court to do these drills. But if you do them, you will just vault over your peers, because the large majority of doubles players are not doing any of the things we talked about in today's video. That's why the middle gets exposed so often. On paper, everybody's been told literally a million times, cover the middle. But the habits out there are so bad. Coverage, visual focus, anticipation, location on the court, positioning, it's all backwards. And if you're watching right now and you go out, you do these drills, it's going to be an incredible game changer for you. I hope you do. Thanks so much for watching today. If it's been helpful, do me a favor and click the like button. It helps the video a lot. More passionate players like you will get to learn from this coaching. Thanks so much. Keep up the great work on your game, and I'll talk to you in the next video.